what Jon Jones is? You know about this guy? He and I, we don't get along. We don't get along, but he wouldn't be able to give you very many insults to Chael. He teases my voice. I've heard him do it before, pretend that he's me and say, Jon Jones. I can't tell if that's good or not. I can't tell if he's like impersonating it well or not. I just know he thinks he does. And if I was to tell you about Jon, I don't have anything good to tell you. And the reason for that is Jon's whipped everybody's ass and he's won every championship. But what do I do now? I get up and walk out of the room? Oh, by the way, when Jon was in high school, he was a champion there too. Oh, and when he stopped off at junior college, which he barely took seriously, he won a national championship over there too. Okay, bye. And I get up and go. The only way I can make time out of a Jon Jones piece is to go a little bit further and go, no, you know, that state champion, that national champion, that UFC champion makes some really poor decisions, such as I could start laying into Jon. You want to know one thing? I've never called Jon, not that I'm aware. If I did call him, if you've heard me call him this, I forgot. I'm genuinely not aware. And I would have been misspeaking to say it. A liar. And for whatever reason, he doesn't lie. Like, he'll do something that is dishonest. He'll do something that he doesn't want you to know. Sneaky. And sneaky and liars find a way to find each other, correct? Cheaters and liars, we're just saying the same thing, correct? Well, usually, but not always. For example, Jon Jones doesn't lie. I don't know of a lie he's told. And a great way to know if somebody is lying to you, the best way, the absolute best way to know if somebody is lying to you, if you're the one that brings them the question or you bring the circumstance and say, did you do this? Just imagine the roles reversed and then ask yourself, if I was in that position, would I tell the truth? It's one of those spots. Jon popped for cocaine. Now, you got a young, good-looking, rich world champion that gets invited to some of the flyest parties out there, who, even if not for his own success, he'd still have invites to the party because both his brothers are studs. They are both Super Bowl champions. He gets hit for cocaine. Now, cocaine is a street drug. It goes into the category of recreational. There is no disciplinary action for it. They don't take said results, even though they're funded by government agencies at times, and give it to a different government agency known as local police. There is not a punishment for it. That's not how it works. But it was something all the same. Nobody really wants associated with cocaine. And it's in Jon's system. And I remember this gal at Fox, beautiful blonde, Clarissa? That ring a bell? Great gal over Fox. Got to work with her a couple times. She was the one selected to interview Jon Jones as his first interview back about the cocaine. And Fox is going to have a plan together that 100% includes her bringing up cocaine. Like, we're going to get this all out of the way. We're going to sit down right now. You don't get to be in headlines for popping for coke while being the UFC champion. Come into Fox Studios and start talking about your upcoming pay-per-view or a past or prior performance that you had. You're going to talk to us today about coke. The other side of the coin, if we ever call you back in the future, it won't be for this. It'll be for something new and something different. All right, great. Well, there was 4 times. Count them 4. And the first time that she did this so that Jon could get everything out, including a denial. He can also get out a lie. He can get out his cover story. She's just doing it as a journalist. Like, what Jon says that's not her job. Her job's not even to badger her or challenge him on it. She just got to ask the question 4 different times. She brought up, is this your only time doing cocaine? Meaning, was this a one and done? You were at a party, you bumped into some coke, you gave it a try, someone peer pressured you. However you want to lay the story out, she's handing him he just got to start grabbing. He just got to start grabbing words that she's already thrown, tie them together, and they will move the heck on, and he wouldn't do it. So she even went back to it again because he so clearly missed the tee-up that she had given him. And he responded the second time the same as he did the first time, pretty much. That's the quote. That's the answer. Jon, is this the only time you've ever used cocaine? And Jon's response was, pretty much. In fact, at a different point in the interview, he even went into a little bit of detail on that. Said that he preferred drinking. I can't remember if it was liquor or it was beer, if he called himself a beer man. I can't quite remember, but he did let people know he does like to let his hair down. And when he goes out and parties, it does involve substance, but his substance of choice is alcohol. And she went back to it again. Well, then what would you need the cocaine for? Jon, do you regularly use cocaine? No. Well, this one time, this one sample that the whole world found out about, are you just the unlucky guy that got hit at that time when a very fast-acting drug is still in your system? Pretty much. And he went and he found it another time. 4 for 4. And he said pretty much. And it was a very honest answer. Anyone else that's been in his shoes, I watched Tiger Woods in his shoes. I watched Tiger Woods do it so insincere. If I owned the network, I don't let him on my network. And the ratings were so good that everybody in TV felt like compelled to let Tiger walk onto a stage at the time he wanted, walk off the stage at the time that he wanted, take 0 questions. Oh, by the way, not even say something from the bottom of his heart. He read it. He never even looked up. Like it was a teleprompter. Okay, here's a cue. Look out in the crowd. All right, over here is where I smile to my mom. Go. He went out there and he read someone else's words nonstop. It was all that he did. And his wife and he asked for your privacy, even though there's 3 U-Hauls out my house, taking her stuff out of it now. And they let him do it. I had kicked him right off my hair. I just said, cut. I throw him back to the studio. And I just said, why? We're not staying there. We're not staying there. We thought Tiger Woods was going to give a statement. He's clearly reading somebody else's statement. If any news on that matter should break, we will get back to you. But it's not what Jon did. It's not what he did at all. And it was a pretty cool thing. Sure it was. That is very embarrassing. And why that was even on there, I do think comes to light. Like, you don't get to just find out about cocaine. The person administering the test that scheduled the test has to pay for it. So if there's no punishment for cocaine, they shouldn't be tested for cocaine. If you could have meth or heroin in your system and it not violate your license or impact your ability to carry and maintain said privilege license, it shouldn't even be tested for. And the people that tested it should give the people that pay for it their money back. Now, that's tomorrow's topic. But when I'm reading about Jon Jones, he is in the news currently because of a 12-6 elbow. And a 12-6 elbow operates exactly like that. In fact, I am going to parrot John McCarthy, who came into my locker room as the referee of one of my fights, and explain to me what a 12-6 elbow is. It is exactly your hand is at the 12, your elbow is at the 6, and you drop that onto your opponent. Turn it as you're bringing it down, if you're flexible enough, and you can turn it here. Any elbow, same attacks for the same position. If it comes at an arc at all that is not 12-6, it is then legal. So Jon, on the cusp of the conversation rearing its ugly head, that we're going to go back in time with a government agency and hold a meeting and potentially take away the greatest win of Matt Hamill's career. Okay, Jon has come out and he has chosen to steer into this a little bit, and I always like that. And he says the 12-6 is devastating. And I've been working on the 12-6 in a number of different positions with different setups, and I plan to use it against Stipe because it is such a devastating move. And I love that honesty. I really did. The people that sat down and revisited the 12-6 came unanimously to a conclusion that it is not a devastating move, that it should be encompassed, same as up elbows, down elbows, side elbows, lateral elbows. It should be encompassed in all of that. It does no more harm or damage. Nobody turns to it more or less. It does not present itself as an offensive or a defensive tool more than the other elbows. And ultimately, The only reason it got overturned was a way of revisiting Jon's situation. And Jon himself has spoken up to let you guys know it's a devastating hold. You never should have legalized it. You never should have held a meeting on the topic of legalizing it. And now I'm appreciative of this. So when Jon says he's working on various 12-6 techniques, it's times like this, I don't wear a watch. I don't wear one. If I want to go outside, I take a watch from somebody, but I don't wear a watch right now. If I had a watch on, it might be a helpful demonstration if I could hold that watch up for you guys. If I could hold it, and I could show you where the 12 is, and I could show you where the 6 is. Now, maybe I move my watch, but it'll still tell me where the 12 is, and it'll still tell me where the 6 is. So when Jon says he's working on a number of different 12-6 elbows, but I, as a person who doesn't own a watch, but I am familiar with the concept of a watch, is it best for his trainer, for the coaches, for the athletic commission? Or is it best if old Uncle Chael lets Jon know you are not working on different 12-6s, you are not working on variations to the 12-6. There's only one. It comes at an angle that starts at the 12 and it ends at the 6.